The rest of the way.
Take out the first 15 seconds. They were pretty good tonight. Yeah, I thought, you know, obviously we knew what they were going to try to do coming in. They're a good hockey team, and outside of just kind of getting caught napping there, we were napping a little bit in the first 15 seconds. I thought we played really well after that. There was about a 5-minute span in the second where I thought we got hemmed in there for a while, but you know, they went 11-7 tonight, so we wanted to really make those top guys for them, their forwards, because they had a short bench. We wanted to make them play defense a lot tonight. I thought we did a good job of that, wearing them down so they didn't have a lot of energy to play offense.
When they decided to move Johan Larsson back down here, is this pretty much exactly what they hoped for in him in terms of growing his game?
I would think so. I mean, you know, he was arguably our best player tonight.
First star, somebody from the first
yeah. Not that you want the credit.
Oh, no, please continue.
But I think that, you know, for us, he is probably our best 200-foot player. You know, he's got a little bit unlucky with the puck. He's had a lot of posts and crossbars this year, and he's going to produce a lot more offensively. But, you know, he's a guy that can play against anybody in the league and hold his own. So, yeah, this is exactly the situation he needs to be in here.
The play to create the Hutchings breakaway is pretty much indicative of what he can do. Just somebody falls asleep with the puck around him, he's going to poke it away.
He's got a great stick, and he's really strong on it. You know, and he makes a lot of plays like that, where you watch how many times through the neutral zone he'll pick a guy's pocket, and we'll be transitioning the other way, or in the D zone where he'll lift up a quick stick turn, and we get out of the zone quickly. That's probably the best attribute of his game, and you know, he did that a lot again tonight.
Probably the empty net goal too, right? You have some factor in that?
You know what, I didn't see. I know that Hutchie got it, and then he got it over to Gilly, but I didn't see where it all started. That's probably trying to get the next line out there.
I mean, that last shift in the second period was pretty dominant by him, especially against one guy. But I mean, he stole the puck from him once, and then knocked him down the second time, and Luke had him breakaway.
Yeah. Well, and I think too that you know, Lukey's play had a lot to do with it. His play recently has had a lot to do, because I think Johan can not relax a little bit, but he doesn't have to completely commit his game to playing defense all the time. So I think Lukey's been doing a good job in his own zone, controlling the puck. Tonight was one of the best games Lukey's played, I think, recently, and you know, it's one of the few nights he hasn't gotten on the score sheet, but in terms of goal scoring. But I thought he had a real solid game. So you know, the better he plays, the easier it makes Johan tonight.
And that's going to be a lot of what his game is, though, right? For Larsson.
Yeah.
But a lot of what he does isn't noticed necessarily.
He's a subtle player, for sure. And like I said, I think that, you know, for him, he's a guy that you can play against anybody's top line. And I think that that's probably be what he's molded into as an NHLer, is a guy like Richards in LA who you put out there in the most important parts of the game, and he's going to execute for you. And he's going to find ways to win the hockey game, and you're not even going to remember, you know, the block shot or getting in the passing lane or just a quick stick. He's a very subtle player like that.
What turned the team around on the road trip? Because the way the team was playing prior to, somebody said you're going to win 5 out of 6, probably wouldn't have too many takers.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is just, you know, getting healthy has been a huge part of it. I mean, we got Jamie back, and that's been a huge difference on our power play. Just having that net front presence and his puck retrieval on the power play is excellent. And then, I mean, with McNabb and Pesek back there, you know, you're a different hockey team with those two guys, and it kind of puts everybody else in the right spots below them. And, you know, for those guys that run your power play, you don't spend a lot of time in your zone when those two guys have it. And usually when it's on their tape, it ends up on one of our forwards' tape, and we're going to work. So, you know, for me, it's just kind of been a mix of, you know, guys playing the right way, but also getting some players back.
Alex Hutchings, can he actually believe this is now his team?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's kind of etched himself in there. You know, I mean, it'd be hard to get him out. I mean, he's been such a integral part. I mean, he's got, I think really the trip to Switzerland is where he distinguished himself, because he had a great trip over there and was one of our best players, and I thought he got really comfortable playing with both Schaller and Gillies. And then, you know, he's really taken off since coming back, and, you know, good power, or a good penalty killer for us. He's great on the forecheck, and that line with Schaller, Gillies, and Hutchings has been the line that we've tried to match up against top lines for the last 14 days, and it's worked pretty well for us.
He made a real subtle play first period on what could have been a 2-on-1. I don't know, maybe every guy would do it, but the guy still had a half a step on him and probably was going to maintain that position, but he just kind of reached ahead and poked the puck ahead, maybe to Pesek, I'm not sure when.
He's a heady player, and he's got great speed, and, you know, he can make up for maybe his lack of size, because he can get to spots really quickly, so, you know, and that's been the difference. I think there are times when, you know, you bring in guys, or you have guys in your system that you play in those spots, and they're 20 or 21, and they just don't have that same urgency where, you know, Hachi's a few years older. He understands how important every play is, and he's got a pretty good grip on how we want him to play. So he's been real effective for us.
Lewin, from a goalie standpoint, young goalie especially, giving up a goal that early, and he said he kind of maybe jumped at it a little bit, didn't anticipate the play well. He got over it, and it seems like he hasn't had trouble doing that at any point this season.
No, he's cool as a cucumber. I mean, he doesn't let a lot bother him. There have been very few instances this year, you know, where he's had, you know, a meltdown or anything like that in the net. He's a competitor, too. I remember talking to him after one game where he'd had a rough night, and I explained to him why I didn't pull him, and he said, I don't ever want you to pull me. And I thought that tells you a lot about him, because he, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of night he's having in there, he wants to stay in the net and fix it. And there's a lot of guys that have a hard time doing that. And that's just his makeup, and that's what's made him as good as he's been.
Yeah, he's very polite, but it seems like he's got a little, you know, fire between the ears.
Yeah, he's not gonna swear at you or anything like that, or any defenseman, but he's got a little fire to him. Got it in that position.
Just like David Leggio.
Yeah, no, nobody has that fire.
Just like Matt Hackett.
No, I meant the swearing.
Oh, yeah.
Leggio.
Yeah. I've heard Ledge swear.
A couple times, maybe.
Once or twice. By accident.
Yeah, right.